Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to Talladega Superspeedway for tonight's Talladega 212. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me in the booth, as always, is William White. William, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good. Finally here at the start of the playoffs. I'm super pumped. We are here at probably the most crazy track in iRacing to start off the playoffs. So I am super excited for a crazy race tonight.
Absolutely going to be a phenomenal one here. Looking forward to this one as we take a quick look at our race formats tonight. 80 laps, no stages, and 4 sets of tires for these guys. You can see the field starting to line up here. It's Carlos Acosta and Dustin Dewar on the front row as we'll watch them roll off momentarily. You see the pace car there. It's Dustin Dewar, Carlos Acosta, Justin Wadsworth, Michael Hosick, Leighton Norgard, Dave Carpenter, Jeff Green, Jay Connor, Trey Holmes, and Jess Story, the top 10. All those drivers with the yellow background on their numbers are our playoff drivers. Will, why don't you take us through to position number 20?
It would be a pleasure. Number 11, or P number 11, Corey Abbott in the number 21. Alongside him is fellow playoff driver Frank Foti in the number 41. Mark Rebelos and Connor Thompson will make up row 7. Dylan Haver in 57 will be in P15 alongside Andrew Hardcastle in 16th. Kevin Higgins in the 20 will be 17th alongside Brent Jones in 18th. Caleb Pacuma and Austin Sally round out the top 20.
Harrison Talon and Kyle Simmons make up row number 11 with Christopher Paff and Dustin Haynes in row 12. The rest of the field includes Robert Smith, Mitch Havier, Tyler Skordensky, Jaden Racimus, Josh Osborne, and Randy Knadel. Tyler Skordensky, the last of those to qualify for the playoffs by winning last week in our doubleheader at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Of course, tonight was supposed to be an off night, William White, but a couple adjustments leading us to not being able to have that off week due to iRacing's recent patch that kind of caused some chaos for us.
Yeah, it meant that at one point we were going to have another doubleheader straight after IRP. We were thinking Vegas, Chicagoland, or Chicagoland, Iowa. But we had a unanimous vote in the Discord chat with all our playoffs drivers agreeing to have our first race of the playoffs set tonight on the 19th of March. Or 18th. Oh, it's the 19th of March. Not quite midnight over yet in the UK. So, yeah, unanimous vote in the Discord chat from our playoff drivers means that we will not be having any double headers for the rest of the season, and our playoffs start tonight instead of next week.
Well, as the field does roll off here, William, one driver opting to start on pit road once again, and many, including myself, would say that this is what cost him his playoff position last week. Harrison Talon starting pit side again in that number 1 car. So no real effort out of the driver over the last couple of weeks to try to get anything done here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Of course, relegated from the higher series due to numerous infractions over the last year or so. So we'll see what he can do. But let's go ahead and make some race picks here real quick. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Well, we know Dustin Dewar obviously starting on the pole, a bit of a super speedway specialist, so it'd be hard to bet against him. But I want to go further back in the field a little bit. I'm looking at the number 59 of Caleb Pacuma. It's been super impressive in the last handful of races. Got his first ever pole position at Indianapolis Raceway Park last time out for the regular season finale. I'm looking for him to make some big moves tonight. Caleb Pacuma is my pick to win tonight at Talladega.
That is a very interesting pick. I like it. As you see Caleb Pacuma here, he's getting ready for tonight's race. Look at the focus on his face right there. I'm going to go with another driver that a little bit deeper in the field. Let's do it. Let's go with Jaden Racimus to get his first career victory here tonight as we get set. I believe the pace car has just made his way to pit road. Fred is taking it back home as we get set to go green. It's Dustin Dewar, Carlos Acosta on the front row. Green flag in the hand of Barney the flagman. Of course, the start-finish line much deeper here at Talladega. But nonetheless, William White, we are green flag racing here in the playoffs.
Seems like a fairly even start for our front two of Dewar and Acosta, with the inside line being a little bit more organised. Allows Dustin Dewar to get out to an early lead. Justin Wadsworth, our regular season champion in tow, and fellow playoff driver Leighton Norgard there, third on the inside line. Carlos Acosta has a little bit of a gap behind him on the outside line, but as they head down the Alabama Gang super stretch for the first time, it's Dustin Dewar in the lead, but the outside line looks to be holding strong. We're 3 wide already. Jay Connor up on the high side.
Couple drivers making the move to the rear of the field. Gavin Higgins, one of those. He's going to drop all the way towards the tail, just ahead of Tyler Skordensky. Mitch Havier up on the high side right there in the 58 machine. You're going to see battles all day long. That's the kind of racing that you're going to get here at Talladega Super Speedway. It's a cool track. I greatly do enjoy it. As unfortunately for Austin Sally, he's going to work his way back to pit road. It looks like his night is over already.
Yeah, hugely unfortunate for Austin Sally. Not quite sure what happened with the 00 machine there. Have to maybe have a replay or something else.
I think he might have been having a connection issue there, Will. So I think he just took the safe route, decided to drop to the back of the field, drop to pit road, and try to fix that up. As we're watching the midfield here, you see Corey Abbott and Brent Jones side by side. Jones up top in that 49. That's Abbott on the inside. As up towards the front, there's a shuffling of positions. Actually, Mitch Havier almost into the outside wall right there towards the tail of the field. But it's Dustin Dewar on the bottom. Here comes Carlos with help from Michael Hossack up top. Looks like they're going to take a peek and try to go for the race lead here, as Acosta did lead at the line. They continue to be side by side, trading spots, trading places out here on the Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, we don't seem to have established quite a dominant line yet. We see the inside line's a little more organized. They seem a little bit more compact. But the outside line, coming off these corners, they seem to get massive runs. Michael Hossack being a brilliant pusher there for Carlos Acosta, his first playoff appearance in any Elite Racing League series there for the Peruvian driver. So massively impressive regular season for the driver of the 02. But it's Dustin Dewar still dragging that inside line nicely. He's going to remain in the lead at the end of lap number 3. We'll see if Carlos Acosta can lead his first lap of the day, as he and the outside line have a little bit of a resurgence. They're pretty much dead even at the line. But it's the front two in qualifying that remain front two in the race for the time being.
Just keeping our eyes peeled here, making sure everyone stays status quo. We got a gaggle of playoff drivers at the tail of the field behind Jake Connor. It's Tyler Skordensky and Gavin Higgins. These guys trying to play it safe here in the early going of today's race. You can see them all the way towards the tail of the field. But let's take a gander here from on board with Dustin Dewar. Usually when we go on board, we take a look out front, but I want to actually take a look behind here. Just look at that group of cars, an absolute hornet's nest here behind Dustin Dewar. He has a lot of cars in a very tight space behind him here. Wadsworth right there and others. Is just let's see what he's looking like. How focused is Dustin Dewar as he drives this number 32 machine? He's looking pretty darn focused right here. His head's moving like a pinball, but he seems to be A-okay, William White.
Absolutely. In these early parts of the races, you have to just make sure that you're taking it nice and easy. If you're the leader of the line, don't really look out of that rearview mirror too much. Just hold your line, stick to that yellow as best you can, and make the lives of your pushers as easy as you can. Make some friends, and that might prove profitable towards the end of this race if you have friends that you can work with. See if you can get yourself a win and burn it down in victory lane at the end of this one.
Definitely want to have your friends here with you, and that's one of the keys of the race, is making sure that you have allies, you have friends, and you're able to keep your car in one piece here today, Will. As it looks like we're fixing to go 3 wide. No, we're going to stay 2 wide. Hossack took a peek to the outside of Carlos Acosta. I believe he was just trying to get a little bit of air on the nose of that machine, but look who's coming up on the high side. That is Mitch Havier, trying to make it work by himself up there. Looks like he does have a friend with him. It's Joshua Osborne just behind. So these guys trying to cook something up a little early here.
Yeah, Mitch having Josh Osborne both starting near the rear of the field, but they're looking to get towards the front early. We saw Mitch having make a bit of a power move there to go top of 3 wide. Josh Osborne giving a pretty decent push to the 58 machine. We saw Osborne tagged the wall about a lap ago, but he seems unfazed as they're already fixing to go towards the front. Mitch Havier almost to the lead of the race. Carlos Acosta dives low, but we are now 3 wide for the lead at Talladega on just lap 7. Mitch Javier looking to try and take the lead with Josh Osborne helping him.
The rookie Mitch Javier up front with Josh Osborne and Jess Story just behind them here, doing a really nice job as Carlos Acosta going to have a bit of a resurgence here out to the race lead. Hossack behind him. Javier looks like he's going to lose his help here as Osborne going to lose a couple of spots on the track, but it's Dustin Dewar now leading the way ahead of Justin Wadsworth. So you're going to continue to see these shuffles. And what? Oh,
Osborne gets into the back of Carpenter. That almost ended in tears, but still 3 by 3 near the outskirts of the
no
top
tears
10
yet.
there.
Well, no tears yet.
That could have been troublesome 10% into this race. As we see Josh Osborne in the middle of 3 wide, Javier up above him, a Leighton Norgard that is down below him in the number 12 Tanks.GG car as he gets tucked up right behind the 71 and tries to get that outside lane moving.
We got the Tanks, and Leighton's hoping that we say GG at the end of this one to him. We'll see how his night goes, but Dustin Dewar doing exactly what he needs to do by leading this thing. As you see these drivers still 3 wide, a little bit further behind, with Mitch Javier the first of those up top, with Jess Story still behind him. But the likes of Dustin Dewar and Carlos Acosta, who continue to run out front here, my thought process is they are dropping a lot of fuel right now by trying to lead these lanes.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, when you're tucked up behind the leaders, obviously you don't have to put as much effort in to stay at the same speed as the leaders, so you just naturally conserve more fuel. Meanwhile, Dewar, Acosta, and now Mitch Javier obviously leading that little third line up at the top side there. They are all full throttle all the way around, so they are burning the most fuel out of anyone. It means that if this were to go green the whole way up until our first set of green flag pit stops, it meant that the likes of Dewar and Acosta would have to pit before everyone else.
Which you definitely don't want to do.
Absolutely not, because if you hit by yourself or just as a part of a small group, you are done for at a super speedway.
Let's take a comparison here, okay? It's going to be a little bit different because Harrison Talon, of course, started on pit road, but if you pit by yourself and you pit really early compared to everyone else, it's going to be a gap like this. You see Harrison Talon here on the back straightaway. These guys, I believe, are just working their way through turns 1 and 2, so not even that far behind him at this point. And they're going to be catching him rather quickly. So if we stay 3 wide, this could get absolutely chaotic when we do catch up to Harrison Talon. I'm going to throw the track map up here on the screen in just a second, and you'll just be able to see the distance between these guys. As here you go. You see, I believe that's Harrison Talon showing up on the map. No, this map is not showing correctly whatsoever, unless Jess Story has suddenly rocketed out to the race lead. So you might as well just ignore this map at this point, unless Higgins, yeah, never mind, it is correct. Yeah, Gavin Higgins has lost a bunch of spots as well. No, he hasn't. So just forget this. As you can see, the field actually catching up to Harrison Talon here momentarily. Let's jump on the nose of Dustin Dewar. Nothing out front as of yet. So this is just trying to play with our minds at this point. This track map. Let's go ahead and just toss that into the garbage as Dustin Dewar, Carlos Acosta, and Mitch Javier continue to lead the lanes.
Yeah, we saw, I think the track map was showing the position number rather than the car number there. Obviously, Harrison Talon is scored in position number 29. He is not driving the 29.
Thanks for correcting me, Will. Yeah, that's...
It took me a minute to realize as well. But
there
yeah,
you
we
go.
do see
That makes sense. There we go,
Harrison
yes.
Talon. The gap is 46 seconds. The closing speed is
they're catching him really fast here. You can see him now from the nose here of Dustin Dewar as we do go 3 wide for the race lead down the back straightaway. These guys putting on a show for us up front. Just watching them. Javier up top, Acosta in the middle, Dewar on the bottom. And this could be a moment, though, Will, where the lack of experience could come into play for the likes of Mitch Javier. He hasn't done this before. Now he's going to have to go potentially 4 wide around a lap car And if it comes to green flag pit stops, is he going to know what to do? And not just what to do, but how? How do you do it?
It's hard to say. Obviously, when you're on top of two cars, you can't really go anywhere. As Harrison Talon does pull off to the apron, they thankfully caught him in the right spot. He will not present a hazard to the field with that massive closing speed. It could have got really, really ugly. As we are still 3 wide further back, but the leaders are 2 by 2 for the time being, as it kind of single files out, streamlines out just a little bit. But these guys that are running the outside 2 lanes, green flag pitting will be difficult for them. They've got cars under them. They can't just Quinhalf their way into the pit lane.
Great reference. Great reference.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly,
of course,
yeah.
Texas, I believe it was, a couple of years ago, the 00 Starcom machine of Quinhalf going from the second or third lane all the way down to pit road. Doesn't usually work.
Yeah, I think that was Christopher Bell, the innocent party, in that incident there. It's never nice to have a blunder named after you. I don't think that's quite the legacy that Quinhalf wanted in NASCAR, but nevertheless, it's what he has.
Somebody dropped to the inside, Josh Osborne.
Josh Osborne there, maybe prepping for some potential green flag pit stops. We have gone green all the way
I think we're 15 or so away from hitting that pit stop cycle, so potentially coming up here shortly, Will.
Yeah, I think if I'm some of these guys from the outside, I'm just trying to look for a gap wherever I can to try and get to the inside. Just makes pitting so much easier, and it's the safer of all the lanes. Obviously, if there is a crash in front of you, you have an entire apron below you to dive to. If there is a crash in front of you, you have a lot more space to try and avoid it. On the outside lanes, you're kind of trapped, and you might have nowhere to go. You might end up being collected in it, and your day might be done before you reach the checker flag, which obviously we don't want.
Couple drivers having a really good run here so far. Obviously, you gotta include Carlos Acosta, Dustin Dewar in this, but Michael Hosick, Frank Foti both having solid runs as well. Of course, Hosick and Foti, as well as Acosta, currently driving in the playoffs here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Of course, pitpassnetwork.com, your home for all things motorsports, from news to reviews, interviews, and incredibly terrible race picks by yours truly. Head over to pitpassnetwork.com for all of that fun information.
Yeah, obviously Acosta and Frank Foti both with their first respective playoff appearances in any Elite Racing League series. Michael Hosick's been in this position a few times before, hasn't quite made the deep runs that we know he is capable of, so it'll be interesting to see what he can produce in this 5-race dash for the Cup, as he just momentarily leads as he is leading the outside lane, trying to take position number 1 away from Carlos Acosta and get a crucial bonus point for leading a lap here at Talladega.
Now, Will, looking at this shot here, whose car are we riding with right now?
Despite whose face it is, on the bonnet of that number 22 machine, we are riding on board with Texas native Andrew Hardcastle.
And that is correct. This is Andrew Hardcastle, and I don't like using this camera in a shot, but there you go. Corey Abbott on the scene.
I think Andrew Hardcastle's got a tradition of using a meme paint, I beg your pardon, at the super speedway races, especially Talladega. So I think it's no surprise to see Corey Abbott on the bonnet of that number 22 car. So we see Jess Story looking to make a bit of a power move there to the top. He's got Trey Holmes in tow in the lowest 48 here. We're going 3 wide again for the lead maybe soon.
Trey Holmes making a rare appearance here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Likes to come out from the super speedway races. Always does pretty well here. Last season, which I guess was last year in 2023, was going for a podium position until late race calamity claimed that number 48 machine, took him out of contention in the race. But I just want to take a look back and see where Harrison Talon was able to slot in. Unfortunately, he was not. As you can see, he is way off the field once again, as these drivers duking it out a little bit towards the tail of the lead pack. You see Randy Canadal up there in position number 15 in his number 33 machine. Good to see him back out here.
Run for him. Obviously started P30 and last in qualifying, having not set a time, so it's good to see him up towards the front of the pack, in and around the top 10, top 15, hanging with the leaders who are currently 3 wide, not taking any prisoners. Trying to race out Jess Story. Powers to the lead for the first time in this race. He will lead the outside lane. He's got Trey Holmes and now Corey Abbott, who heartbreakingly lost the regular season championship by just 1 point.
One single point to the driver he is 3 wide with.
Yeah, Justin Wadsworth there on the bottom, our regular season champion. Corey Abbott's going to be hungrier than ever to redeem himself after losing the championship, the regular season championship. That is in such a heartbreaking way. He currently runs P9 here at Talladega, but it is Carlos Acosta just eking out a lead over Jess Story and Michael Harsack for the time being.
Well, and one thing to note about the regular season championship, that was solely bragging rights for these guys. Everybody you see highlighted in yellow, all of these playoff drivers, they had a full point reset, so they are on even ground coming into these Pit Pass Network.com playoffs as Frank Fody nearly slides up ahead of Jess Story.
Yeah, these guys are getting more and more antsy, trying to make up ground before the green flag pit stops come in. As you see, Trey Holmes giving a big shove there to the 29 of Jess Story. He is almost clear of both the leaders, but Carlos Acosta powers back through on the inside lane. Obviously, the inside lane covering less distance around the racetrack, so they'll be better in the corners. But the banking will work to the benefit of the outside lanes off of the corners, very much equalizing all 3 lanes for the time being, as they are 3 by 3 by 3 all the way through the top 10. Is Jess Story going to lead his first lap of the night, I believe?
Yeah, Jess Story giving it his all out here. He's trying to go for it. We'll see what he can do down on the bottom there with Carlos Acosta.
It's going to stall out the top lane just a little bit. We see Trey Holmes and Corey Abbott go backwards just a little bit, not quite having the slipstream of momentum that they had with a 3-car tandem, now down to just 2. So we have 2 by 2 again for the lead. That's Story and Hossack. There's Carlos Acosta down in 3rd, Dustin Dewar down in 5th, your front row sitters earlier in qualifying.
Now, one thing to point out here, the question did come up over in the Elite Racing League Twitter group asking, can you push in these ARCA cars? And the correct answer, as given by Scott Crump, is not recommended. You don't really want to do it. And we're going to take a look here from the rear end of Trey Holmes' car. You're going to look at the nose of Corey Abbott. Just look at that thing. It's almost like a wedge. You can see it. So if Abbott was to get underneath the rear end of Trey Holmes here any closer than he is right now, that could potentially lead to Trey being spun across the entirety of the front of this field. So you typically don't want to wedge something under a vehicle because it will lift it up, and the nose of these ARCA cars is really no different.
Yeah, absolutely. The ARCA car is built such that it's got a really low front end, almost scraping the floor, but the back bumper, as you see from this back facing shot now, the back bumpers are way up high in the air. It just invites the front bumpers to get way under them, lifts the rear tires off the ground if you get into them too hard, and it will just spin you right round like a top. No one on planet Earth will be able to save it, and it could end in tears with a multi-car pileup, a lot of torn up race cars, a lot of torn up race win dreams for a lot of these guys out here. So they just have to take it easy, as we see. I don't know who we're on board with.
This is Dustin Dewar that we're on board with right here on the nose camera. So you can just see if he was to get any closer, he would wedge right underneath that Carlos Acosta machine.
Absolutely. And when you're 2nd and 3rd on the inside line, you're going to collect a lot of cars if you start facing the wrong direction at almost 200 miles an hour, as we now ride on board with Frank Fody, pushing Michael Harsack there to the lead of the race momentarily.
Carlos Acosta working the wheel there, trying to do what he can to help out Jess Story just up ahead AM. Speaking of Jess Story, why don't we give him a shout out here? Check out twitch.tv/JStoGaming. You just saw it right there. Carlos Acosta gave a bump to Jess Story, and it lifted the rear end of that car right off the ground, nearly sent him around.
Yeah, that is about the maximum that you can push in these ARCA cars. Any more than that, I think that would have been a massive accident. We saw Acosta almost get into the back of Story again through the middle of turns 3 and 4. So Carlos Acosta is definitely mastered the art of bump drafting in these ARCA cars. It's definitely more of an art form than it is with any of the other NASCAR stock cars, with just the asymmetry of the front of the car and with how high the back bumpers are. It becomes really difficult to push these things. So you really have to make it work if you want to go forward.
Well, these guys have done such a nice job, as you see Mark Robialis down there at the bottom of the racetrack. Let's go ahead and do a fan favorite moment. We're about to crank it up here, coming on lap number 26 of the Talladega 212. And we are back as the field now catching Harrison Talon for a second time here tonight. He currently runs on the bottom lane, said he is not going to be getting out of the way this time. And, well, he was correct. He is not getting out of the way. Going to stay in position, forces the field to go around him, as this did work out for them this time. Able to clear Harrison Talon for the most part, but could still lead to some chaos a little bit further ahead. We were briefly 4 wide there. You see 3 wide all throughout the top 10. There's Caleb P. Cucumber up on the high side with the Leighton Norgard, and I believe that's Franklin Fody there as well, as these guys absolutely duking it out for position, preparing for that first pit stop here, William White, as we're coming here on lap number 28.
Yeah, it was a Harrison Talon stick it on the inside line, forced everyone to go up a lane to navigate around the number 1 Red Bull machine. It meant that things got a little bit broken apart. It meant that things got a little bit more dicey towards the front of the field, and some guys like Caleb Paquin were able to make some moves. He's up into P7 now, maybe looking to get another couple more spots before they get into turn 3 here. But still, Jess Story and Michael Harsack remain your respective line leaders for the time being. No one thankfully collected in any crashes as a result of that, as Harrison Talon is now 2 laps down. And we're actually going to catch up to Gavin Higgins, our last placed playoff driver, as we see them there just in the background.
Randy Canadal was in the outside wall right there.
Yeah, we did see the 33 just hit the outside wall just a bit, as you see the 20 of Gavin Higgins in 28th place. The leaders are going to have to navigate past him, I think, before we reach any green flag pit stops. As look at that, the pack closing in like a pack of hungry wolves at about 200 miles an hour. The closing speed is going to be ridiculous, as Gavin Higgins, I think, elects to go high to get out of the way of the leaders.
Just watching the leaders catch up here. This could get chaotic. Oh! Carlos Acosta into the wall! Corey Abbott into Acosta! Oh no!
Talon's involved. Carpenter's in it, almost upside down. Simmons.
The 85 involved. That's Kyle Simmons. I see Dave Carpenter in there. Corey's face coming on by with Andrew Hardcastle driving his head here today. We got Harry Talon stuck together with Harry just doing burnouts down there on the bottom as they try to get their cars moving. Caution number 1 here on lap number 30. Let's take a look and see what just happened. But we saw it there. Carlos Acosta getting into the outside wall, and that's going to lead to caution number 1. Let's take a peek. Watching Acosta.
Acosta's getting into the wall there after contact, net code contact, albeit with Dustin Dewar. And he just came down in front of Corey Abbott. Corey nowhere to go. Talon and Higgins involved. Carpenter, Simmons, also 2 more innocent parties in that. So big playoff implications early on with two big contenders taken out. Jizzy Hardcastle Thompson,
Honestly,
Seamless.
unfortunately here, Will, for Carlos, it all kind of just kicked off with netcode, and then he was trying to recover the car, and everyone else just really had nowhere to go.
Yeah. There might have been some big steering damage to the 0-2 car. We saw him have a massive impact, pancaking the outside safer barrier. They might not have been able to do much to control that car. Corey Abbott, absolutely an innocent party in that. Just hanging back, trying to stay safe, and he ends up being collected in the first caution of the night.
As the field works their way down pit road, we're going to take a pit stop as well. We'll be right back here. This is the Talladega 212 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at Talladega. It's the Talladega 212, and it is Franklin Fody leading the way here after pit stops ahead of Justin Wadsworth, Leighton Norgard, Jess Story, Caleb Pacumer, Josh Osborne, Jeff Green, Dustin Haynes, Robert Smith, and Brent Jones. A couple drivers having issues on that previous run, including Jay Connor, Gavin Higgins, Carlos Acosta, and David Carpenter as well. Harrison Talon was also involved, but he, of course, is numerous laps down due to opting not to start in the field. Pace
Yeah, so
cars
there'll
off.
be a big
Let's go,
shake-up
Will.
towards the front of the field. See, Frank Foti for the first time tonight will lead us to the green. Doesn't seem very organised into the front of the field. Not very bunched up as we head towards the Geico restart zone. They step on the loud pedal now. Decent jump for Frank Foti, beg your pardon. As the Leighton Norgard is on the inside of Justin Wadsworth, so we think that maybe the inside line will have a bit more of a resurgence.
Yeah,
Justin Wadsworth doesn't have much help.
Wadsworth and Norgard going to be side by side here for second and third. It's Pecumer and Story just behind. Those guys duking it out for positions as well as Foti continues to lead. One thing that we saw there with Frank Foti was he got himself a pretty decent launch on the start, and you don't really want to pull away too much. As you see Justin Wadsworth take the lead now, he has the option. Does he want to drop down to the inside ahead of Frank Foti or stay up ahead of Jess Story? He opts to come down in front of Foti here, and now he's going to lead the inside lane with Story reclaiming the top side.
Yeah, Frank Foti, I think, reacted to the green a little bit quicker than everyone else. That ended up being kind of a curse in disguise for the 41 car. Because they meant the ball late, and Norgard kind of stuck with him a little bit. The outside lane got a massive side draft launch off a turn 2, and they just kind of bolted out into the lead with all that momentum, and the inside line kind of got their tongue up to dry, as it were. We're riding on board now with the 29 car just being pushed by Jeff Green in the 38 car, another Perth contender that we haven't seen near the front for too long so far in the Talladega 212, but he's up here now looking to make a splash. As you see, these guys getting right towards the door, trying to use that side draft to advance their position as best they can.
Here, taking a look from the roof cam of the Jeff Green machine, you could see the effort that's going into it from these guys, just trying to do whatever they possibly can to help out their drafting partner, get a bit of an advantage. As you know, you see these guys still all over each other. It's Story on the bottom. That's Jeff Green up top. That is Justin Wadsworth and Dustin Haynes, with Josh Osborne and Frank Foti making up row number 3. Robert Smith up here as well in that 98 car. Welcome to the top 10 for him. He's having himself a pretty decent start to this one, just shy of halfway on lap number 35. And look who just joined the top 10. My race pick, Jaden Racimus in that Razor 19 machine, just added Corey Abbott. Let's take advantage of the rear view camera on Jaden Racimus and just see what the damage might be like on that Corey Abbott nose. He's looking A-okay, William White.
Yeah, thankfully for Corey, the 21 pit crew managed to center those damages pretty efficiently. Looks clean as a whistle out there. Does that 21 car doesn't seem to have any massive radiator or engine or aerodynamic damage, so he is good to go to keep fighting for this win here at Talladega.
A driver running a paint scheme that has seen its fair share of success here at this racetrack. The number 3 of Dustin Haynes, the Canadian driver up there on the high side, currently scored in position number 5, battling with Frank Foti, being the pusher for Jeff Green. He has given himself a good opportunity to race up here towards the front. We've seen some improvements from him this season, a driver that is new to Elite. We haven't seen him in anything else, but he is part of that the Street Limit team, which is alongside Raymond Hanneman, of course, the Daytona Truck Series winner, the 85 of Kyle Simmons in this field as well. So a new team to Elite that has put a fair amount of drivers in the field across multiple series looking for their opportunity to make a name here in Elite.
Yeah, absolutely. Dustin Haynes has made leaps and bounds of improvement since his debut back in, what was our first race of the season again? It slips my mind just now. It was Atlanta, wasn't it?
Atlanta, yes.
The first race of the season. Like I said, Atlanta, it was. He's made leaps and bounds since then, as the rest of the Street Limit cohorts. You see Jay Connor getting lapped, very unfortunately, for the first time tonight. Hopefully the last. We'll see if he can make a bounce back towards the front of the field before the end of this race. But Jess Story and Jeff Green, still your leaders for the time being.
Yeah, Jess Story out front in that 3-wide television machine with Jeff Green on his high side here. Just taking a gander at the playoff guys that are having some issues here tonight. Jake Connor, we just saw him get lapped. Gavin Higgins, he's fixing to get lapped again. As actually, we're going to stay with this as Jeff Green and Dustin Doer go to the high side. That's the new tandem up top with Trey Holmes behind them. Josh Osborne gets a little bit slideways right there just behind Dustin Haynes, as Haynes going to shoot up through the middle. It's Jess Story, Justin Wadsworth, and Franklin Fody on the inside.
Yeah, ring the bells. We're going to Chad White at Talladega. Not for the first time tonight, as we see a little do-good collaboration up on the top side. Jeff Green caught the run of his teammate Dustin Doer, and they're now going to make a bolt for the lead as Jeff Green shoots to the top of your scoring tower. For just a moment there, Jeff Story and Dustin Haynes hanging firm lead in their respective lines. But Dustin Haynes,
left out to dry.
Left out to dry. Jaden Racimas, here's the nearest companion, but he's a good few car lengths back, so the middle lane is going to fade a little bit. As you see Jeff Green and Dustin Doer both clear.
That got tight.
Green down to the bottom. Doer can't quite get there, so he will now lead the middle lane.
Wow.
But Jeff Green now leads this race. Big power move there from Do Good Motorsports.
Power move and nearly demolition move there for Do Good Motorsports, as Dustin Doer went to go with Jeff Green, just unfortunately not able to get there, not able to break into the Story, with Jess Story holding that inside lane alongside Justin Wadsworth. Top two right now, well, two of the top three, I guess, with Dustin Doer breaking in here, and Jeff Green and Jess Story, both playoff drivers. Justin Wadsworth, a playoff driver as well, as Frank Fody and Michael Hosick, the other two playoff drivers inside the top 10 currently. Let's take a look a little bit further back. Actually, further back will be just ahead at this point. Gavin Higgins just ahead of the race leader, so we are coming up on him here momentarily. He's just passing, or just about to pass the start finish line, as the leader's coming up on him. This could get a little bit interesting as these guys duking it out for position up at the front of the field. We are 3 wide in the third row right now with Wadsworth, Haynes, and Holmes. So if Gavin Higgins comes into play, this could make it very, very tight.
Definitely. These boys might be forced to go 4 wide, but Trey Holmes, not with a lot of help for the time being, on that high side, might be forced out of the lead pack for the time being, as they are single file for the first 3 cars on the inside lane. That's Green, Doer, and Wadsworth. So I don't think navigating around Gavin Higgins will prove too difficult for these guys at this time around.
Yeah, lucky for them, they're going to get him in a... Oh, this will tighten up.
4 wide.
Woohoo! We got by him.
Good job, boys.
We got by him for now, but they might go 4 wide again here into turn number 1.
Yeah, the leaders managed to get him on the straight, but half the field will have to navigate past the 20 car through turns 1 and 2 before heading onto the Alabama Gang super stretch. They're still 3 wide. That's Higgins, Smith, and Jaden Racimas there on the outside lane.
This might work out for Gavin, though. This should work out for Gavin Higgins. You can see him there. He's slotted in. It's going to be just like he's one of the leaders at this point. That's a benefit of super speedway racing. If you're able to get back with the field, you still have an opportunity to be competitive and avoid going additional laps down.
Absolutely, and as long as there is a next crash and that Gavin Higgins isn't involved in it, it all guarantees that the 20 car will reap the reward of the lucky dog, putting him back on the lead lap. Obviously, Jay Connor not a part of a drafting pack at the moment, so there'll be a big gap between P25 and P26. There isn't a big gap, though, between P1 and P2. The Do Good Motorsports boys, nose to tail, just a few hundredths of a second apart, with Dustin Doer pushing Jeff Green on the inside lane at 43 of 80.
The Volkswagen of Dustin Doer right there. A unique entry into the PitPassNetwork.com ARCA series.
Absolutely. The Europeans making a splash all the way from Germany. The Volkswagen is leading 1 and 2 at Talladega at the moment. So those Volkswagen Golf engines seem to be making quite the splash here in Alabama at the moment.
Gotta love the paint scheme on the Jeff Green machine. Trying to be a Volkswagen Bug up there. So looking unique. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Absolutely,
Michael
yeah, takes off
Goodman with his
early.
creativity.
Absolutely, yeah. Herbie's a movie a little bit more before my time, I think.
Oh my
but
gosh.
Still a nice reference.
Yeah, 2019 before Will's time.
Yeah. Well, Herbie's older than 2019.
Yes, it is.
I was about to say, I'm not that
Harry
young, I'm not that
Talon
much of
on
a
the
baby.
inside. The leaders not pleased with him. Kind of a throwaway effort by that one car here today. Just didn't really try.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Harrison Talon, I think, goes 3 laps down now. He's in pit road now. Maybe he's calling it a day. It's not been the best of evenings for the #1 machine. But as we are now catching on to Jay Connor, he communicates with the leaders. He will stay on the bottom. As we see Jeff Green already moving up, preempting that, making life as easy for himself and the trailing pack. As Jay Connor will stick to the inside lane. There's Josh Osborne that's moved his way up to 3rd. So good bit of movement there as he tries to block Trey Holmes. Trey Holmes moves to the inside.
Trey Holmes not putting up with any of it here. Decides he's going to go high side, low side. I'm going to go right by you on the inside there, Josh Osborne. As Osborne falls back to position number 5. He's on the high side of Dustin Haynes. Again, Haynes having himself a really solid night tonight up there on the inside of row number 2. Here comes Justin Wadsworth now up to the high side. Josh Osborne in the middle as Caleb P. Cucumber jumps down to the inside as well.
Yeah, not much help there for Josh Osborne. He's going to try and side draft off the 59 there of Caleb Pekuma. Imagine that Justin Wadsworth and Jeff Story will have a decent run coming off a turn 3. Josh Osborne not with much assistance. You imagine he'll fall behind these two, at least for the moment. Jeff Story giving a nice push to Justin Wadsworth. Got Leighton Norgard at Jaden Racimus, all helping them, just strengthening the tandem on the top lane. As Jay Connor takes it pit side, as Caleb Pekuma looks to go to the middle. They'll be 3 wide.
He's not going to have much help, though. Is it maybe Robert Smith will opt to go with him here?
Don't think so. The run on the inside is quite good. Unless Pekuma just slots in. No, gap's going to close there. No dice there for Pekuma.
Talon back on the racetrack.
We'll see where Talon comes back on. We'll see if the leaders have to navigate past the lap car. Still getting back up to speed after exiting the pits. Still 3 wide, though, for 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's Osborne on the bottom. Pekuma in the middle. Justin Wadsworth leading a little line there up top. As well now navigating past Connor Thompson there. We're going to be
top. Oh, that was tight.
Almost contact.
Wow. These guys not giving each other a ton of space out here on the racetrack. Is Jeff Green, Dustin Dorr, Trey Holmes your top 3?
Yeah, got a little bit hairy there in the mid-pack. Has definitely broken up the pack a little bit. You see Dustin Haynes in P6 and Robert Smith in P7 about half a second apart. And between him and Story is about 0.3 of a second. So that's really broken apart the field. This is now kind of a 6-car breakaway with Jeff Green leading this race still. He's been an absolute stalwart there in P1 as we see on the track map there. That's Harrison Talon. About halfway down the back straight, so we don't have to worry
Carlos
about him
Acosta coming into play here soon as well.
Yeah, another lap down car. Obviously, I'm very unfortunately involved in that first incident there. So another lap car they'll have to navigate around. But Jeff Green is still holding strong. It's Caleb Pekuma leading Josh Osborne there on the outside. They've got a little 2-car tandem going, holding fairly strong against the 4-car tandem on the bottom there, with just over 30 laps to go.
Couple to go here. Acosta goes to the apron, lets the field on by, does the respectable thing of giving these guys as much space as possible. Coming to 31 to go this time. These guys have done a phenomenal job here getting down towards the tail end of this one. You see Josh Osborne, the pusher for Caleb Pekuma. Dustin Dewar, the pusher there for Jeff Green.
Yeah, and crucial thing to note here is Dustin Dewar is a little bit of a Houdini blink there, but I think all is well. While the pack does start to close up, we see Jeff Green is leading the race in a 38 car. His number is in yellow. The next one below him was Jess Story. He was originally around 9th. He's powered through on the outside with a big push from fellow playoff driver Justin Wadsworth. As we see Connor Thompson comes to stop. That's a yellow.
Caution!
That's going to cause a yellow.
Caution for Thompson. Not sure what happened there. Apologies going out to Michael Hassett. Oh.
Brent Jones involved.
Wow.
Big impact there. Wow.
Who in the world did he just drive over? Somebody drove underneath.
That was Brent Jones, I believe.
Brenton Jones. It was Brent Jones, but you know what we got to do for this one, right?
I think we have to ride on board, don't we?
Of course we do.
The innocent Brent Jones has no idea what's happening in front of him. Checks up as best he can. Gets jump scared there by a black number 16. Nowhere to go, and that might be a meatball for the 49 car. His day might be done.
Something just happened here. We're going to back this one up.
Something's happened. I think it involves Josh Osborne. I think he hit Caleb Akuma. Just looking at my own feed here, as they catch up to the back of the safety car, Josh Osborne just with a massive head of steam hits the rear of the 59 car of Caleb Akuma. My race pick, his shot of the victory has now been very much derailed.
Wow.
Around goes the 59.
We're going to step away. We'll be right back for the conclusion of this one. It's the Talladega 212 on the Elite Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at Talladega, lap number 53 here of the Talladega 212. It's Dustin Dewar, Jeff Green out front with Randy Knadel and Dustin Haynes in row number 2. Leighton Norgard, Justin Wadsworth, row 3. Kyle Simmons, Jess Story in row 4 with Frank Foti and Caleb Pecumer in row number 5. That last caution going to be a tally on the 16 of Connor Thompson and a severe damage penalty handed out to Josh Osborne for running into the rear end of the 59 of Pecumer under the last yellow flag.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Josh Osborne, who was doing really, really well, running inside the top 10 for a decent amount of the race, but just a big lapse in concentration has a big impact on his night. Impacts the night of the innocent number 59, who thankfully still runs ninth, not with a massive amount of damage, but enough to derail his efforts just a little bit. But we're coming back to the green now, so do good 1-2, coming to lap 54 of 80.
Like you said, do good 1-2. They're trying to do good here tonight. Don't know if Michael Goodman is watching from anywhere, maybe his perch at the cheese factory, but we will see here as pace car is off. We're getting set to go green. Dustin Dewar on the loud pedal, and we are back underway with Dustin Dewar out front.
Both lanes seemingly decently organized throughout the sort of top 10 area. Knadel pushing Dewar, Haynes pushing Green, seeing which of the lanes will come out superior as we head onto the Alabama Gang super stretch. Dustin Dewar though has a bit of a gap. We'll see as Jeff Green doesn't have much help himself. We'll see if Green manages to shoot to lead, see if Knadel tries to move high. No dice for either of those guys, but Jeff Green ekes a nose out in front just a couple hundredths of a second as Knadel tries to get that inside line moving. See if Dustin Dewar can get back to the lead, but it's Haynes and Wadsworth in the tow of the number 38 car, trying to push the 2000 NASCAR Busch Series champion to yet another win in the Elite Racing League.
Just taking a gander out front here. These guys absolutely doing whatever they possibly can for position. It's Dewar and Green up at the front of the pack. Just behind them is Randy Knadel and Dustin Haynes. Knadel having probably the best run that he's ever had here in the Elite Racing League, currently scored there in position number 3. Dustin Haynes in the 3 in position number 4. Another driver having a very solid run here tonight. Leighton Norgard up there, Justin Wadsworth as well. Kyle Simmons has rebounded from a bit of an early drama there. He was involved in that big one we had a little while ago.
Nice on the inside there.
Did you see some slicing and dicing up front here?
Knadel and Dewar, I think as Jeff Green came down and stacked up the inside line just a little bit, almost ended in tears. We see Leighton Norgard and Frank Foti now moving up to the outside lane. Leighton Norgard has had torrid luck in pretty much all his elite endeavors, apart from in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Obviously won at Road America, solidly into the playoffs, and he's had a decent run at Talladega tonight, in and around the top 5 all night long. Still in the hunt for the checkered flag. Meanwhile, my race pick, Caleb Pecumer, is on the outside of Jess Story on 10th. Yep, that's P10 for Pecumer. Now P9 as he powers past
Harrison Talon in the wall right there.
Harrison Talon 4 laps down. Trying not to be too much of a hazard for the lead as he's in the wall. Maybe giving Andrew Harcas a little bit of a scare, waking him up.
I mean, Corey's a little scared on the nose of that Andrew Hardcastle machine now. Just look back at it. You can just see his mouth wide open, just scared of what just happened.
I wouldn't want that closing in on me at 200 miles an hour.
It's like, you gotta cue the Jaws music here.
Yeah, that's why I was just thinking, he's closing in. It's the face on Corey as well. It's like he's ready to do some damage to poor Michael Harsack there. Done nothing wrong all race, and I think he's about to get claimed by the vicious Corey on the bonnet of Andrew Hardcastle's car.
Incredibly vicious, and we got to paint a bonnet onto Corey on the bonnet for next race.
I think that's a great idea. I think we should have that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll get a hold of Andrew Hardcastle soon enough. Make sure that he does that for future endeavors here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Watching Trey Holmes, he's trying to get that high side to cook. It's just sizzling at this point as Jeff Green leads the inside. Dustin Haynes to the top with 23 to go. He's got Justin Wadsworth as his pusher up here. Just behind them is a Leighton Norgard. The 3 on the inside is Green, Dewar, and Canadal.
Incredibly solid runs from all these guys to stay out of trouble. And Leighton Norgard, power move. He's to the top of 3 wide, leading the outside line. Frank Foti and Caleb Pacuma, 2 Lake Norman cars. In tow behind the number 12s. Canadal comes up a little bit. No harm, no foul. We are 3 wide from 4th on back. Let's see if there's much help for a Leighton. Doesn't seem to be working out too well for
You
the
may see
machine.
You may see the likes of Wadsworth or something jump up here if they see the resurgence of that high lane. Don't think they're going to be able to do it though.
Like they are closing in.
Oh, we're coming up on Mark Robilas here.
3 by 3. This could get dicey.
Let's keep our eyes on Mark here.
Robilas
Looks like
on
he
the
has
apron.
dropped to the apron though.
And the field can breathe a sigh of relief. There's Robilas. Very courteously drops to the apron, gets out of the way of pretty much the entire field to fair play to Mark Robilas there. You see the outside lane still hanging tough. Leighton Norgard leading that line. They're trying to get something to go, but it's still Dustin Haynes and Jeff Green leading the bottom 2 lanes at Talladega. Dustin Haynes looks to lead his first laps of the evening. Can't quite get that one. It's still Jeff Green.
Now, Will, you're pretty good with stats like this. Has Dustin Haynes led any laps yet in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series? Did he lead some at Daytona?
I'll get that for you now.
I thought you would have had that ready, William. Usually you're an encyclopedia, but look at the high lane now. Jess Story coming back at it with help from a Leighton Norgard. So Norgard did get a friend up here to work with him, see what they can do to get out from Frank Foti, Corey Abbott, Kyle Simmons coming into the picture as well. Trey Holmes just consistently looking strong there in the middle in that number 48 machine. Unfortunate thing about the middle is you're essentially trapped at this point. Can't go high, can't go low unless an opening happens. And this late in the race, 20 to go, you're not necessarily going to find that hole. As actually one does open up now. It's going to close rather quickly as Kyle Simmons closes that gap there on Trey Holmes. Holmes just nowhere to go.
Yeah, 3 by 3 for the lead at this point. If you're in the middle, you just got to chug along, see if you can get that middle lane moving. But I can get back to you on that stat with Dustin Haynes. He has led 1 lap before tonight in the Elite Racing League. No points for guessing where that was at, Robert?
What it was in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go Atlanta.
See, I thought when I said no points for guessing, you would go Daytona. It was actually round 2 at Legacy Phoenix. He led his first and only lap in the Racing League. I don't know if he's led any yet today, but he has led 1 before. So see if he can lead a few more. See if he can lead the last lap and take his first.
That's the only one that these guys care about.
Exactly. The previous 79 are just there to put you in position to reach that checkered flag first. And right now, it seems to be all the Jeff Green show, leading that inside lane beautifully, holding that wheel smooth. Got a brilliant pusher in Dustin Dubber, his teammate and team owner. As we see Haynes and Story leading the other lines. You see a massive pack behind them. Look at that. Door to door, wheel to wheel with less than 20 laps to go at Talladega. This is what we do this for.
Just watching from all the leaders here, it's absolutely chaotic for these guys. Just seeing what's going on behind them. Watching right now from Jess Story as he rockets out to the race lead. You can just see the field behind. Trey Holmes comes up just behind a Leighton Norgard here, so they're going to try to go out front. But it is 3 wide for the race lead. Story, Haynes, and Jeff Green.
Absolutely. And the quicker those laps tick down, 18, 17, 15, 10 to go. The more these boys will start to push the onboard, just push the limits.
I thought you were in fast forward right there.
Yeah, well, these guys seem to be on fast forward right now. Speeds almost in excess of 200 miles an hour. They must feel like superheroes out there. White knuckle driving from all these boys. They're going to push the envelope just a little bit harder, push the limits, How hard can they push these ARCA Series cars? And if they push it too hard, it could end in catastrophe for all of these guys. They really have to be careful, but they have not got much time to punch their ticket into the winner circle. Someone's up in the wall. That might create some drama. Josh Osborne almost collected, but we stay clean for the moment.
That was Christopher Paff in the 30 in that outside wall. As you see the telemetry here from Jeff Green, up in the 190s. They nearly ticked off 200 last time by, so I wouldn't be shocked if potentially towards the tail of the field here, Will, somebody did indeed hit 200 miles per hour, especially with that extra draft, just able to get up there and do what they can. This is tight right here amongst these drivers.
They are asking and giving no quarter here with just 60 laps to go. Robalis again courteously moves to the apron. He sees just an onslaught of 3 wide pack racing all the way down to the top 20, led momentarily by Jess Story, Dustin Haynes, and Jeff Green. We'll see how that changes over these next 16 laps.
Contact!
Is this contact? Dustin Haynes struggling to hang on to that number 3.
Oh,
Carl Simmons is
Corey!
off, and there's going to be a crash.
Big one right there. Big
Now we are
wreck. That was a lot of cars involved in that one. It all kicked off around Kyle Simmons and Corey Abbott to bring that one out here. We'll take a look and see what just happened. Watching Kyle Simmons in the 85 down at the bottom of your screen here. Now the right side, you see, ooh,
Looks like Corey Abbott got turned.
big hit by a couple drivers there. I believe that's Robert Smith that becomes one with the wall.
Yes.
We're going to have to back this up a little bit further. Just kind of a lot happening in one spot here.
I think
Hossack gets into the back of Abbott.
Collects Smith. Simmons saves it. Racema Skordensky involved. Big impact there for the 98. Thompson just dodges that one, as does Rebelos.
Just back that up a little bit further. Take another gander at this one. Harry Talon avoids it. Jaden Racimus gets a rather large chunk of this incident as well. He's going to take a big jump up through the field.
Oh, Christopher Paff.
Numerous guys with big damage. Wow.
Skordensky, unsighted there, gets clattered by Jaden Racimus after being hit in the back there by Christopher Paff. So just a big domino effect as Hossack just gets into the back of Abbott, and it was on from there out of turn 4. 16 laps to go. They were pushing 3 by 3, about 5 rows back, and that is the consequence when you push it just a little bit too far. You have a lot of torn up race cars. But as it's been for so long now, the volatility of these super speedway races, you usually see a bunch of different leaders on the restarts, but the 1 and 2 of Jeff Green and Dustin Dewar, that Do Good Motorsports cohort, have held firm for pretty much this entire second half. That's been super impressive. And we're starting to see some more playoff names surging back towards the front. Chief among them, 2000 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion Jeff Green, as he leads under caution with 14 laps to go.
A bunch of drivers on pit road. Michael Hossack, Dylan Javier, Caleb Pecumer, Tyler Skordensky, Kyle Simmons, Chris Paff, Robert Smith, Jaden Racimus, Mark Rubialis, amongst others. Well, let's take one final commercial break. When we come back, we'll take these fine folks to the conclusion of the Talladega 212 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at Talladega. It's the Talladega 212. You just heard from our friends at iRacing.com, as well as Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway, one of our premier partners here in the Elite Racing League, alongside Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And of course, PitPassNetwork.com, your home for all things motorsports, from news to reviews and interviews. Check out PitPassNetwork.com today. Well, we've had a great show so far. Of course, we are under just our third caution of the day here with 13 laps to go. It's Dustin Doer, Jeff Green, Dustin Haynes, Jess Story, Randy Knadel, alongside Justin Wadsworth, Leighton Norgard, Trey Holmes, Frank Foti, and Corey Abbott, the top 10.
Yeah, it's been an incredibly clean show from all these boys. Just 3 cautions in 67 laps is incredibly impressive for these guys. We're going to come to 12 to go as Fred, the pace car driver, will make the sharp left onto pit road here at Talladega. The desperation will start to set in for some of these guys further back in the field, specifically those guys in the playoffs who need to make up some point deficits while they still can. 12 laps is not a lot of time. They will whiz past here at Talladega. I imagine we'll see some 3 wide racing before long and maybe some more yellow flag action. But for now, Dustin Doer and Jeff Green will step on the loud pedals, have another do-good 1-2 at the restart. It seems like the outside lane has a much better start this time.
Too good. Too good of a restart right there.
Absolutely, bit of a stack up there.
Watch for Green to clear down to the inside again, Will. I'm sure that's going to come into play. Unless Duga... Nah, never mind. I was going to throw... Oh, Jaden Racimus into the grass. Caution again. The cucumber has been sliced. Caleb Pecumer involved in this one. Caution out once again with 12 to go. Let's take a look up here around Jaden Racimus. Another stack up ahead there. Another accordion. Jaden just nowhere to go. He does. I don't think either of these guys are actually damaged. I think they're okay. That's going to be just another racing deal. That's it.
Yeah, caused by those typical accordion effects that we see at the super speedways. Caleb Pecumer just gets turned around by Jaden Racimus trying to react to the concertina that happened in front of him. Saw Michael Hossack just get into the back of Jaden. Jaden did a phenomenal job at saving it, not hitting anything, and keeping that 19 car pointed into the right direction. But we now have 11 to go. 4th caution of the night here at Talladega as we see Jeff Green, Dustin Doer just catching up to the iRacing.com safety car. As I imagine we'll have about 8 laps to go, 7 laps to go when we take the green flag once again.
Yeah, just another domino effect there, Will. That's what we've seen a couple times so far. The last caution as well was deemed a racing deal, just simply due to domino effects. So these guys just racing really tight here in the late stages. And of course, it's going to lead to some issues out on the racetrack. We're coming down to 10 to go. We'll be less than 10 remaining when we go green again. I don't think this is the last caution.
I definitely don't think so. I think 2 or 3 more. I'm definitely anticipating a green-white checkered finish. Maybe a finish under yellow if these guys really get desperate. Obviously, the more desperate these guys get, the more risks they'll take, and inevitably, more crashes will happen. There'll be more yellows and cautions, precautions. It's the age-old mantra of stock car racing, but it's ringing true. Barely got through the first couple corners, and we've had our 2 cautions in succession here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Let's take a quick run through the field here. Take a look, see where your favorite driver is currently situated on the racetrack. Of course, it's Jeff Green out front in position number 1, ahead of his teammate Dustin Dewar there in second. As you see Mark Robilas take his wave around, it's Jess Story there in position number 3, Justin Wadsworth in 4th, Dustin Haynes back there in 5th. Phenomenal drive tonight by the driver of the number 3 out of Canada. Trey Holmes in position number 6, having a good run. It's Randy Canadal in 7th, the Leighton Norgard in 8th, Corey Abbott in 9th, Andrew Hardcastle with Corey Abbott in 10th, so a couple Abbott Motorsports guys together. Mitch Haver in 11th, ahead of Franklin Fody. Dylan Haver in 12th, Josh Osborne 14th, Tyler Skordensky 15th, Gavin Higgins 16th, that is Kyle Simmons 17th, Mr. Brenton D. Jones in 18th with his Uwu sponsorship. Connor Thompson in 19th. Jaden Racimus, position number 20, ahead of Robert Smith in 21st. Caleb Pecumer, 22nd. Michael Hossack, 23rd. Mark Robilas just got the wave around 24th. That nose doesn't look too good. Jake Connor, 25th. And Harrison Talon's here today as well as Christopher Paff, Carlos Acosta, Dave Carpenter, and Austin Sally. Let's try to do it here, Will. I want to see if we could have a quick word with a driver and see potentially if they've got something for the end of this one. Let's take a quick gander through the field. Why don't we go ahead and bring up Dustin Haynes and you can have a quick word with him.
Sounds good.
Kyle?
Dustin Haynes, up in the Pit Boss Network ARCA Series booth. You got a copy, man?
Yep. How's it going?
Oh, you're having a phenomenal time up there in position number 5 in that beautiful number 3 Street Limit Chevrolet. How do you analyze this race so far from your perspective? You've had a brilliant one so far.
So far, all I've tried to do is stay calm, cool, and collected because there's a whole lot of chaos going on real quick, and when it gets 3 wide, it's going to be really tricky, so you got to make sure you concentrate on what's going on all around you at all times.
Yeah, absolutely, that is pretty much the age-old saying in super speedways is, you know, in order to finish first you have to finish. Obviously, I imagine that's kind of your survivalist mentality, but obviously we'll be coming to just a handful of laps to go on this green flag restart. You will be 3rd on the inside line. How do you rate your chances of finishing first in this race 4 spots better than where you are at the moment of taking your first win in the ARCA Series?
Well, it's really just a big gamble. I'm hoping I have a good chance. As long as I can keep everything kind of going in the way that I'm hoping it's going to go, I should be able to kind of get a little bit farther up there. I'm hoping I get a win, but I'm happy with just getting up to top 3.
Awesome. Well, you've only got about another mile more behind the safety car before we let you go under green again. So just quickly before we set you back with your team, are there any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give for getting that beautiful number 3 out on the track today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Street Limit and Raymond and everyone, all the guys on the team for getting me on here. I'd like to thank my fiance for supporting me as much as she does. And I'd like to thank my mom for going on ahead and pushing me to go on ahead and do something that I'm inspired in doing.
Well, sounds amazing, man. Well, good luck for these remaining handful of laps. I'll send you back to your team. Best of luck, my friend.
All right, thanks, man. Hope you have a good show.
Thanks, man.
Can you tell he was Canadian there, William? Why? Just so nice. Such a nice
So
fella.
polite. Definitely very Canadian.
As we get set to go green, it'll be 8 to go this time. It is Dusty Dewar and Jeffrey Green up front once again. But the big question, will it be either of these guys out front in 8 laps from now?
It's going to be hard to tell. Super Speedway Racing is just one big gamble. You could see my pick, Caleb Bakuma, in 20th right now. He could still take the victory tonight. Any one of these guys could see that checkered flag first, but so far it is Team Jeff Green and Team Dustin Dewar. On the outside and inside lane is Jeff Green immediately clears down to the inside lane. That two-car do-good tandem will prove to be strong once again, no doubt. Justin Wadsworth will lead the outside lane for the time being, with Trey Holmes and Leighton Norgard in tow. The inside looks a little bit separated between Jeff Story and the 33-year Randy Canadal. Could be a good opportunity for a bit of a resurgence. For the outside lane, we see Trey Holmes pushing Justin Wadsworth towards the front, side by side, for the lead of the race, coming to 7 to go. It will be out of turn 4. It's time for these guys to lay all their cards on the table, show their hand, see what they can do. There is no more time to be conservative with your stuff. You have to give it absolutely 110%. Push that envelope as far as you can and take all that you can. Take all the risk and reap all the rewards. 7 laps to go at Talladega.
7 to go. It's Wadsworth and Green out front. Green on the bottom with help from Dustin Dewar. Wadsworth up top with Trey Holmes and a Leighton Norgard. Jess Story and Randall Candle coming onto the scene as well. Down there on the inside, Dustin Haynes on scene as well. Robert Smith just having a kiss with the outside wall. He's able to gather it back up and stay on the racetrack as Hasek and Skordensky going to try to go by Connor Thompson here. It's Jeff Green continuing to lead the way, but Wadsworth right there as we're going to come around to just 6 to go. This time it's getting down to the nitty. It's getting down to the gritty, and we're about to end this one here in just 6 more laps, William White.
Absolutely, and for the first time in a while, it's not been a do-good car. Leading at the line, the 6 of Justin Wadsworth, our regular season champion, getting a beautiful push there from the 48 of Trey Holmes. We see Dustin Haynes has got damage. He's coming down pit lane. What's happened to the number 3 street limit car? He's going to tumble down the order. Heartbreak late on for the number 3 of Dustin Haynes. He pulls into his pit box there. We'll see on the replay
Take a
what
look
happened.
and see what happened to Dustin Haynes. Watching him on the bottom there, just behind Randy Canadal, the 07 just
gets into the back of him.
doesn't check up and runs right into the rear end of Dustin Haynes, sends him around.
And that'll be a fairly hefty right into the inside second barrier. It stays green, much to the dismay of the mangled number 3 car. Meanwhile, hanging firm is the Duga Motorsports cohort, Jeff Green and Dustin Dewar. Justin Wadsworth may have led that last lap, but it is Jeff Green leading the way right now. 0.5 of a second over Justin Wadsworth. They're still 2 by 2 all the way through to the outskirts of the top 10, the top 15. We see Gavin Higgins leading a little third lane there, although not much help for those guys at the moment.
Coming to 4 to go this time, it's Jeff Green on the bottom. Justin Wadsworth continues to be the point man up top. As you can see, a couple of those Abbott guys starting to get together. Corey Abbott leading the top lane with Gavin Higgins. There's Hardcastle. There's Norgard as Norgard goes to the top. 4 to go, and we're about to be 3 wide going for the lead.
Andrew Hardcastle elects to stay in the middle lane. Doesn't go with the rest of his Abbott Motorsports teammates unless he's looking to file in front of Leighton Norgard. Frank Foley gets a little bit understeery off of turn 2 there. But we remain clean for now. It's Norgard, Abbott and Higgins up top there. Wadsworth, Holmes and Hardcastle in the middle lane. Green, Dewar, Corey leading the inside lane. If you want to recall the rewards, now is the time you must take all the risk. As Jeff Green continues to lead, all these guys are going to put up a massive fight to try and take the checkered flag tonight. 3 laps to go at the line.
As the field comes around, they're going to be 3 to go. It continues to be Wadsworth and Green as Frank Fody goes to the top with Norgard and Corey Abbott. It's Andrew Hardcastle, third in line on the top. Will he come up and try to help his teammates, or will he stay in line and try to give himself the best possible opportunity to go for it? The freezer is starting to creep open here, William White. Those popsicle sticks, they're going getting set to come into play. Will we put them in the air, and will it lead to the white flag the following time by? We'll see as we do come around into 3 and 4. We're going to head towards that start-finish line and those popsicle sticks. We'll see what happens here, but it continues to be Jeff Green and Dustin Doer out front. Mark Robila is going to come into play, and he goes to the top of the racetrack.
They're going to navigate
Oh no,
by
Corey Abbott!
in the wall.
Corey Abbott involved.
Seems to be over. It stays green.
Let's back that up, just see if anything could have possibly gone a different way. Mitch Javier up into Corey Abbott, sends him up into the wall.
The 58 just gets into the 21. Myanmar's Justin Wadsworth just creeping out into the lead. With Trey Armstrong, Andrew Hardcastle third in that line. Gavin Higgins laps down. Jeff Green, though, leading out of turn 4. Dustin Doer blows up.
Robila's blown up on the bottom. 1 lap to go. Oh, that was Doer.
Dustin Wadsworth to the lead.
That was Doer that blew up. I thought it was Mark Robilas.
Dustin Doer must have been pushing too much, and Jeff Green now has no help. He's out into 8th after leading for so long. It's Justin Wadsworth, regular season champion, is now in the lead as they come into the Super Stakes for the final time.
Holmes, Hardcastle on the inside. It's Higgins and Nordart in the middle. Oh, Nordart
around into Green.
Wow, it's going to come down to Wadsworth, Holmes, Hardcastle, and Higgins as we work through 3 and 4 for the final time. Will one of them go for it? Will it be Hardcastle to move to the outside? He's got to make a move. Holmes goes to the top. Here we come down the front straight for the final time. Hardcastle to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide coming to the line. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Hardcastle.
Yes.
Wow. Andrew Hardcastle, Trey Holmes, and Justin Wadsworth at the line. Wow. The first career win for Andrew Hardcastle here at Talladega. William White, I'm going to give you a moment to collect your thoughts, but Corey Abbott and Andrew Hardcastle going to victory lane here at Talladega.
I have wanted Andrew Hardcastle to win a race for so long. I knew as soon as he got to the bottom of Justin Wadsworth, that was a done deal.
What a finish! What a race!
Another Abbott Motorsports driver to win a race before me. I am so proud of this man.
He's gonna burn it down if he knows how. It's Andrew Hardcastle, the winner at Talladega. And he does know how. Do you, Will? We'll find out a couple of years from now.
Wow. So
just
mean.
kidding.
What
a win. Wow. Andrew Hardcastle, your winner. We're going to step away. We'll be right back to talk to Andrew Hardcastle, Trey Holmes, and Justin Wadsworth as the teammates. Going to burn it down together. Corey and Corey.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We are back here at the Talladega 212. Just wrapping this one up. Let's go ahead and talk to our top three finishers, beginning with Justin Wadsworth. He's standing by with William White.
Justin Wadsworth, another podium finish in the ARCA series. Firstly, congratulations. How do you analyze that race from your perspective? That was a wild finish.
Yeah, man, it was happy to come home top three. It was a lot of fun. Trey was giving me some mean pushes there, really kept us up there. And yeah, I just feel like Talladega, you come into that final straight and you're kind of a sit and duck when you're in first. I thought Trey was going to wait a little longer before he'd take the run, and he did it a little earlier than I thought. And that's what we were actually just talking about in the waiting room. He felt like he went too early.
Yeah, it was an absolute barn burner of a finish. Obviously, you took the regular season championship at the end of IRP. Now you were the highest finishing playoff driver tonight. Third place. How important is it to carry that momentum now that you're in the points lead for the rest of these 4 races and shoot for a championship trophy at the end of it?
Yeah, I'd really like to. I was really shocked I was able to come up with the regular season points championship. A little disappointed when Robert said that we didn't get any bonus points for winning it. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the top 3. I mean, really tonight, I mean, as you guys know, these super speedways, it's really just about survival. Really wanted to make sure I didn't start in a hole for the playoffs. So yeah, off to as good a start as you can ask for, really.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go, any sponsors you want to shout out, or anyone you want to thank for getting that number 6 out on the track tonight and getting him to a beautiful 3rd place finish?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just got to thank my crew chief, Greg Wadsworth. He's always along for the ride with me every week, so appreciate that. Shout out to Trey too. He was awesome there at the end, keeping us up front. And then lastly, shout out to you guys. Like I've said before, you guys do a great job, and it's always fun to watch the races back afterwards.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, buddy. Congratulations on that 3rd place once again.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was Justin Wadsworth, the 3rd place finisher here tonight. Now, William, let's go ahead and have a quick word here with Trey Holmes, the runner-up. I'm going to have you stand by with him as well for the 2nd place interview.
Trey Holmes, William up in the booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Got you loud and clear.
Obviously, 2nd place at Talladega. Obviously, you're not running for any points. I assume you were just here for fun, but would you have wanted to come just 1 place better off and be burning it down on the front straight right now?
I told them in the waiting room I made my move just a little too early, and I wish I could have that back. But it was a fun race all in all. Really enjoyed it. Nice and clean most of the race.
Yeah, obviously, I forget where you started. I'll pull that up in just a minute. You started 9th, so you're fairly far high up in the field. Was your mentality for that first 79 lap stretch just to survive this thing?
It's always about survival on plate tracks, but if the closer you can start up front, the easier it becomes. So I just felt like I had to continue to maintain track position all throughout the entire race.
Fair enough, man. Well, any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give for getting that beautiful 48 on track to a 2nd place finish?
I'm going to shout out Harrison Talon for deciding to stay after going 5 laps down. It takes someone special to do that, because I would have left a long time ago.
Fair enough, buddy. Well, congratulations on that 2nd place once again.
Thank you, guys.
That was Trey Holmes, the runner-up. And, Will, we're going to do this one together. I'll kick it off, then I'll throw it to you. Let's talk to first-time winner, Andrew Hardcastle. Andrew, you won a race, buddy. How good does that feel?
Surprising. I'm not gonna lie. I usually do pretty good at these super speedways. I have my own little strategy of just sticking around 20th or worse most of the race, and usually I do okay. That was a wild finish. There was so many things going on that entire last lap. I don't even know how it all happened.
Well, all I know is you made a move that I didn't really anticipate anybody making there, and it just absolutely paid off for you. I have two questions. Obviously, first one, how good does it feel to win a race for Advent Motorsports before William White?
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit before I came up here in the waiting room. Now I got something to brag on him about for the foreseeable future, even though he beats me at pretty much everything else. But definitely happy about that.
And how much power did the head of Corey give you on the hood of that 22 machine tonight?
A lot, apparently. Gave me an extra 2 set of eyes to see that move coming. Planned it out. I was gonna try to make Trey think I went with him, and hopefully made Wadsworth go for the block as well, and then just immediately go for the dive once it looked like that started to form, and it worked out perfectly. So definitely helped with predicting that move.
I'm going to throw you over here to William White. He's got some questions, and I'm just going to warn you, if you go back and watch the finish of that one on the broadcast, turn your volume down a little bit.
Firstly, Andrew, I am so proud of you. Secondly, what was, obviously you're a big survivalist on the super speedways, but when you came out of turn 4 and it was just you, Justin, and Trey, did you envision that bonsai move to the bottom of the track? Did you have that kind of all playing out in your head coming out of turn 4, or was it all just pure instincts coming to the line?
I'd say maybe the last little section of turn 4, I'm like, oh, it's just us three. I just got to try to get around these two. And I started planning it like as quick as possible. And it just worked out perfectly. I don't know what led to us being the only three there. There was so many things that happened along the way. I'm definitely going to have to go back and look at that, see what happened, because that was just crazy last lap.
That was awesome. Well, obviously it's your first win in Elite. Do you think you can get a second one in the remaining races in the ARCA series?
I don't know, man. Super speedways are kind of my thing. I usually come into these with a pretty good idea that I can win. The only other shots I usually got that I feel pretty confident in are dirt races. We've already done that one. I'm definitely going to try, but I'm not as quick as just some of the members on my own team, let alone the rest of the field. There's some pretty stacked people in this. So I'm definitely going to try, but I am pretty happy with how the season went as a whole already. So anything more than this would just be icing on the cake.
Awesome. Well, any shout-outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank for getting Corey into victory lane even though his actual car got junked?
Yeah. Shout out to Corey's Face for being on the card last few weeks. It's gone pretty well with it. So I'll probably keep it for the rest of the season. Rest of the Abbott guys for, always helping out when making pit strategies and stuff. And then Trey and Wadsworth, we had a good little run there towards the end. That was a lot of fun. And we stuck together pretty good for the last couple of laps there, and it worked out pretty well for all of us.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your first ever win, man.
Thanks.
That was Andrew Hardcastle, the winner here tonight, Will. And that'll just about do it for us here from Talladega. Any final thoughts from you after what was a phenomenal race and an insane finish with Andrew Hardcastle ending up in Victory Circle?
I mean, I don't know what else to think of other than just I'm really proud of that dude. He's worked super hard to try and get that first win. He's had so many shots on the plate tracks and the dirt tracks mainly. So to see it finally pay off for him, it does feel good. I feel like I'm happier than he is to see Andrew burning it down in victory lane. But yeah, awesome race. Perfect way to kick off the playoffs. Justin is going to take the momentum of being the highest finishing playoff driver into the remaining 4 races, see if he can have a shot at the championship. But the other 11 playoff drivers will not let him off the hook that easily. They will all be hungry as ever to try and stop that from happening. So I am excited for this race for the championship.
Yeah, definitely an exciting one and a great way to kick off the playoffs. Like you mentioned, Justin Wadsworth going to come out of here with some great points, but Tyler Skordensky coming home in 4th. He's going to be able to salvage some really good points. Let's take a look at the final results here tonight, how we wrap this one up. And it's going to be obviously Andrew Hardcastle on the top step of the podium ahead of Trey Holmes. Justin Wadsworth, Tyler Skordensky, and Frank Foti round out the top 5. All 3 of those guys playoff drivers, with Brent Jones rebounding from being a ramp, with Hossack, Canadal, Smith, and Higgins behind. So your top 5 playoff guys after round number 1 of the playoffs: Wadsworth, Skordensky, Foti, Hossack, Higgins. And then it goes Mitch Javier, Jaden Racimus, Connor Thompson, Corey Abbott, Caleb Pacumer, Leighton Norgard, Dylan Javier, Jess Story just behind, as well as the remainder of your field is Josh Osborne, Kyle Simmons, Jeff Green, Dustin Dorr, Mark Rabilis, Dustin Haynes, Harry Talon, Jake Connor, Chris Paff, Carlos Acosta, Dave Carpenter, and Austin Sally. But Will, that'll just about do it for us here tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night on the Elite Racing Network, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I do believe is the time, for the Belly Up Cup Series at USA. So that's going to be an absolute barn burner. Might be a caution flag burner as well, but should be a good one. Be sure to tune in. But on behalf of William White, my name is Robert Hill Jr. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time.